In this video, I'll be demonstrating how to create an APA references page using the article, How Play is Making a Comeback in Kindergarten by Jackie Mader. I'll be working in Word first, and then I'll be moving into Google Docs partway through the video. So we'll start by centering the word references at the top of the page. You should be in 12-point font, either Times New Roman, Arial, or Calibri. And you should have 1-inch margins on your page, and you need to make sure that you are double spacing the document. So make sure that it's set to double space. So then we move back over to our left alignment, and we start with the author's last name, comma, first initial, period. So it's Mader J, period. What you'll want to do, if you're not sure, is double check on the article itself in D2L or wherever the article has been provided for you. Make sure that you're spelling it correctly and that you have the names in the right order. Oh, sorry, wrong. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to put the date in parentheses, and it's always year first, and then month, and then day. And then we close those parentheses and we put a period. The next item in the APA reference is the title of the article itself, and we're going to use sentence case for the APA reference, which means that we capitalize the first word and any proper nouns or adjectives. How Play is making a comeback in kindergarten. And then we're going to put a period at the end of the title. I actually think kindergarten should be capitalized. I'm pretty sure that that's a proper noun. The next thing that we include is the source, which is the publication. What publication printed this or put this into publication? So we're going to check on it, and it is obviously the Hechinger report. So I keep going to the wrong document. So report. Now, because this is a web article, it's clearly written for the internet, online consumption. This is not something that was printed with page numbers. We need to show that by italicizing the article title. If it was a print article in a magazine or a printed journal, we would italicize the source and leave the title not in italics. But to show that it is an online source, then we italicize the title and leave the source not in italics. The only thing that we need at this point is the URL. And you can look on the page in D2L to see if the URL is listed at the top or the bottom of the page, but in this case it is not. So what you're going to do is you're going to have to open up a new tab and search for this. So How Play is Making a Comeback, the Hechinger report, Jackie Mader, the date is right. So now we're just going to copy the URL, and then we're going to keep going into Google. I'm so sorry. We'll get there. We're just going to copy and paste that URL right in here. So what we need to do is make sure that we're putting our references list into a hanging indent. But before I show you how to do that, I want to include a second source so that you can see how it works when you have multiple sources on your page. Now, each of you for the critical response had to go out and find an additional supplemental source to use for this assignment, which means each of you is going to have a different article. So I can't tell you exactly what your supplemental source is going to, how you're going to do the reference for your supplemental source, because everyone's is going to be a little bit different. But we are going to follow the same basic rules. So you'll start with the last name, comma, first initial, period, and then we'll do the date. I'm just going to use today's date, and a period, and then we're going to put the title in sentence case with a period at the end of the title, and then we're going to say that this was published in the DTCC Times. Remember that because this, we're going to say this was a web article, so we're going to italicize the title, and then we're going to put a URL, www.blah, blah, blah, blah. I just wanted there to be enough blah blahs that it ended up on a second line. So now we have our hypothetical second source. So your source is going to reflect whichever supplemental source you got approved for this assignment. What you want to do is make sure that they're alphabetical on the page. So in this case, M comes before T, so that this is fine. But if your article is written by somebody with a last name that's earlier in the alphabet than M, then you're just going to want to put them in alphabetical order on the page, whatever that is for you. You're going to highlight all of the lines on the page, and we're going to use a hanging indent. So in Microsoft Word, what you can do is open up the paragraph. We're on the Home tab, and we're opening up the paragraph menu. And under indentation, we're going to drop down the special drop-down box to choose hanging. Just double check. This should automatically be ½ an inch, but just make sure that it is, and then hit OK. And this is what that looks like on your page. There's an indentation of the second line. So what this does is, it means that we don't have to space out the reference entries on the page. We can immediately tell where each entry starts. It also makes it easy for us to see which entry references like which citation in your paper. So if I'm reading your paper and you have a quote, and in the embedded citation you say Abby 2020, then I can look at your paper and very quickly see that that's this source. Or if your embedded citation says Mater 2020, then I'll know that it's this source. So the citation always matches the entries on your references page so that you can quickly refer between those two resources. So this is what a references page should look like in Microsoft Word. I'm going to copy this information and I'm going to paste it into a Google Doc, because some of you I know are working in Google Doc. So we're going to center the word references again at the top of the page. We are going to make sure that we're double spaced. And then we're going to paste in the information. And it's centered, so we don't want that. So we're going to make it left justified. But now we've lost our hanging indent. So it's okay, because Google Docs can do that too. In this case, we go to Format, we choose Align and Indent, then Indentation Options, and then under Special Indent, we choose Hanging, make sure that it's a ½ inch, and hit Apply, and now it looks the way that it should look. So this is what you need to do for your Critical Response APA references page. It is important that yours is formatted correctly. You'll be using APA formatting for all of your English classes here at Delaware Tech. And so we are going to ask you to pay close attention to every period and every space and every capital letter or lowercase letter. So the formatting is very important. Let me know if you have questions, and also the Writing Center is available to help with APA if you are struggling or finding that this is, if your source doesn't look like this, like these sources, you can definitely get help from them or from me. Good luck.